How you doing? This is Yafeo. As you see, I'm a realtor, a loan officer in the state of Texas, licensed realtor in the state of Texas, licensed mortgage loan originator in the state of Texas, as well as in the state of Michigan. So I definitely appreciate you very much if you're joining me today. I just kind of wanted to kind of poke around a few things here on our local MLS and look at a few houses, all right? Because that's what folks are very interested in. They're interested in homes. They're interested in houses. They like to look at houses, even if you're not even uh, wanting to buy a property. You just sort of, it's something good to see. And so I'm going to look at a few houses that's in the area. Let's see. What's folks' favorite area? Let's look at Cedar Hill, right? I know a lot of folks that is in Cedar Hill, and that's a place that they're very much so interested in. So let's get a look at it. Just give me a second. Looks like we got a little bit of a. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, I'm in the wrong spot there. So sometimes it happens like that. Where your mind just goes kind of empty here. So we're looking at Cedar Hill, very popular location in the Dallas Fort Worth area, and one I am sort of familiar with in terms of Cedar Hill. And what I'm looking at is when I send you, the customer, I send you information in regards to properties that you requested. One of the first things I'm concerned about, obviously, is location. Another thing I'm concerned about is what's your price point. I'm concerned about how much you make because you got to at least comfortably make three times the rent, right? So if you look at these numbers here on this right side, you got to at least make three times that, right, in order to potentially qualify for that. And obviously, you have to provide the documentation that states that you qualify. Um, Another important thing I want to mention is that I have to physically take you to see the property. So I have to take you to see the property. And once we get a look at it, then we can kind of figure out what's going on. So let's look at our property here. Let's see. Let's look at 428 Matterhorn, right? So let's look at this property. Hopefully you can see that clearly. So let's see. So this is the kind of layout of the property. Looks nice. Look at those photos. That looks nice. So one of the things that we're looking at here is the kind of the description here. It says pretty much, are you interested in the home? So it's a three-bedroom, two bath. They don't they don't mind pets. It has smart home features, right? Um, and it tells you how to apply. And it says obviously what I just told you, that the home must be shown, right? And my name as the agent must be on the application, right? Um, and it gives you sort of these prices here for pets and whatnot, right? But it's important because I want to be able to provide you with all the information. Now, the application fee for this particular home is $55, and the pit deposit is 2,060, right? So that's what you're coming in with initially to pay the deposit, but also you're paying the first month rent as well. Keep in mind that this is the size of the property, 1,857, according to public records. And this home was built in 1983, 42 years ago, right? That's been some time. And so when we show you these properties, number one, we want you to have something that you're absolutely positively going to fall in love with. I think that's important. And a lot of times you will, just based off seeing the property. A lot of these properties look very, very, very nice on the inside. And I think you'll find that most of them, you'll see there's something that you can appreciate. Now, one thing I do want to state is that this property did drop a little bit as of yesterday. So originally, this property was $2,060, and then it dropped down to 1,009.75. Okay, which is geared towards making it a little bit more attractive. And you know, so this hadn't been on the market too long. Looks like so. Either way, I think it's important for me, to bring this to your attention. Aside from that, let's look on the market for a property that's for sale. Okay, so this that last property I showed you was for rent. Let's look for one that's for sale. Okay, so we're gonna look in the same area. Obviously, this is Cedar Hill, right? Same location, same location in Cedar Hill. Let's go to the results. They got over 160 properties on the MLS currently, right? So let's try to look at a comparable size property. That was like 1,800. Let's look at this one. This is 1,800. This one here means it's an open house currently at this property, so they got an open house. Um, so boom, let's see. So this original list price was 295,000, right? And now the it's at 280. Okay, so that's kind of where it's at now. Um, as you can see, this is as I stated, this is in Cedar Hill. So obviously looks like some folks are tidying up a little bit. Definitely some Cowboy fans. If you're a Cowboy fan, this might be something that you may interest you. But look at that home. Isn't that something that you could raise a family in, right? So let's see how they describe this. This is a two-story home with a spacious layout, right? 4 bedroom, 2 baths, very nice. Uh, it's in a quiet neighborhood, as it says, flexible with children's bedroom, guest room, and a home office. So yeah, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. This has been on the market. How many days, y'all? 110 days on the market. This has been on the market for 110 days. So they're looking to maybe try to, you know, get this off the market. It originally was 295, now it's 280. Of course, this is a single family, and this house was built in 1993. Now the other one was built in 1983. This was built in 93, and this doesn't have a homeowner association, so you don't have to worry about that. Got some fireplace, got a living area. Doesn't have a pool, so if that's something that you don't want, you're in good. This has a two-car garage, so this is pretty good. This is ideal, ideal scenario. So number one, two scenarios I just talked about today. We talked about the rental. I told you that you need to at least have 3 times the rent, right? At least need to have the income in place. I did show you what the application fee is. There is typically a deposit, and a lot of times folks will work with your credit as long as you don't have like recent evictions or something like that. Okay. In this particular scenario, I just showed you a home that's for sale, right? Been on the market for 110 days. Quite a while, right? It's quite a while. It's been on the market. Looks like they dropped it from what they originally posted. It looks like they dropped 15,000, right? So, with that being stated, I want to mention to you that I'm also a loan officer, and with me being a loan officer, if your credit score is at least a 580 and up to well, let's just say 580, at least a 580, then you would qualify for a FHA. If higher, maybe 620 and above, potentially you'll go conventional. The benefit of going conventional is after you pay off 20% of the home, of the loan, etc., then you don't have any more PMI or mortgage insurance, right? So then you're just your payment's going to drop a little bit once you get to the get rid of 20%. That's if you're on a conventional loan. If you're FHA, then you're going to pay that insurance for the duration of the loan, because what happens is that bank needs to have that protection, right? They want to make sure they got a protection just in case you default. So my job is I'm going to take your application on you, and you're going to send over me 5 items, like taxes, bank statements, that sort of thing, driver's license, social, all that information you're going to get to me, and then we're going to figure out where you're at. If you are interested, and you live in the state of Texas, or you live in the state of Michigan, I can provide you a loan. If you live in the state of Texas, or specifically the Dallas Fort Worth area, then I can take you out and I can show you property. Either way, connect with me. Either way, leave a comment. Um, Go to my page. I will be hosting uh, some seminars in the next few weeks, right? And it's basically to try to educate the community and educate folks on how to properly obtain a home, right? I think it's very important that that happens. So please, if you can, work with me, and let's get it taken care of. Outside of that, it's been an absolute pleasure in in chatting, and I look forward to speaking with you again in the near future.